around you. Enroll in one of Hillsdale College's more than 40 free online courses. Learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories in the book of Genesis, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution, or the history of the ancient courses. I take these courses, and I highly recommend you take them as well. I think you would enjoy the Genesis story. Genesis is a book of fundamental importance for Jewish and Christian faiths and has exerted a profound influence on Western civilization. In addition to being a great religious text, it is also a literary masterpiece. Sign up for the Genesis story now and learn the complex relationship between God and man, the consequences of a rupture in that relationship, and the path towards reconciliation. Start your Genesis course at Hillsdale College for free. Go right now to charlieforhillsdale.com to enroll. There is no cost, and it's easy to get started. That is charlieforhillsdale.com. That is charlieforhillsdale.com. A wonderful partner of this program, America's greatest college, a phenomenal library of information for you. They pursue virtue, goodness, beauty. They have courses on Winston Churchill. I am retaking the Constitution 101 course for the fourth time. I try to do it once a year to kind of keep you sharp. So check it out at charlieforhillsdale.com. That is Charlie, F-O-R, Hillsdale.com. Joining us now is Riley Gaines. Riley, welcome to the program. Riley, a lot of your work these last couple of years crescendoed yesterday at the White House with President Donald Trump. Tell us all about it, Riley Gaines.
Man, that's right. Thrilled to be on with you, Charlie. Thank you so much. What we saw yesterday was a total vindication. I think that's the best way to put it. It is something, this fight that I have been fighting, of course, me personally, for about 3 years. Many others far, far longer than I have. We were stonewalled. I mean, by the previous administration. Not even just stonewalled. We as women were left out. We did not have a seat at the table, and even worse, I would go as far as to say the Biden administration and even current elected Democrats, they worked against us by requiring these men to be in our sports and in our spaces like locker rooms. So to have a president who displayed such moral clarity on an issue that really shouldn't require it, right? You mentioned Genesis in describing the wonderful promo of Hillsdale College. It is that simple. It goes back to the first book. He made them male and female. I cannot believe we have to have a president issue an executive order saying those are the only two sexes, and of course declaring that men cannot compete in women's sports. But that's the level of moral decay to which we reached, and certainly could have been the reality that we faced had November 5th been any different. But I think this issue as a whole, the gender ideology movement, more specifically even the issue of men and women's sports, that's what turned a lot of people off from the Democratic Party. As you know, as I know, I think people turned out to the polls on November 5th to embrace Donald Trump, and of course his America First agenda, his cabinet picks, but more so I believe people turned out to the polls to reject this kind of absurdity.
So Riley, we're watching some of the B-roll here of the signing ceremony yesterday. What exactly was in this executive order? What are the details of this no men in women's sports executive order?
Yeah, well, it's really beautifully written. Major shout out to May Melman, who has, she's a policy director at the White House. She wrote the executive order of the two sexes, declaring there are only two sexes. She helped with the chemical and surgical mutilation of children executive order. Really, really beautifully and thoroughly written. What this executive order does is it withholds federal funding from any educational program that allows or requires men into women's sports, into women's spaces, again, like locker rooms. So it's huge, really, but in all actuality, what it does is just enforce Title IX. It seems pretty groundbreaking. It seems pretty riveting. But, I mean, I hate to say it, it's really regressive is what this executive order is. It's taking us back in time 52 years. But again, that's what's needed because of the radical rewrite that Joe Biden and his administration pursued, the most anti-woman, anti-reality pursuit that we saw from that administration. And that's certainly saying a lot. So This is great. We've even seen the NCAA come out with a statement this morning saying, hey, we are looking over this executive order now, and we are doing everything we can to comply and follow federal law, which I'm not surprised by. I believe the NCAA has been desperate for an executive order like this, or for some sort of action from someone other than themselves, because what they have done for years on this issue, and not just this issue, they've sat on their hands. They've kind of sat on the fence and winked at both sides, wanting to do the right thing, and they know what the right thing is, but not having the courage, not having the backbone to be willing to do it. So now this allows them the opportunity to do the right thing, but kind of continue to say, look, we're just following the law here.
Yeah, so the elements of the executive order give it really real teeth and real ability to be enforced. The counter argument that some people in the media are making is, oh, this isn't happening very much. However, even CNN agrees that this is overwhelmingly supported by the American people. Play cut 134.
I think these numbers are really illuminating on this topic, because I just think there's such a clear trend among the American public. So transgender female athletes in women's sports, only 18% of the country says that they should be, in fact, allowed to participate in women's sports. Compare this to the opposition. I mean, my goodness gracious, 79%. You rarely get 79% of the country to agree on anything, but they do, in fact, agree on the idea of opposing transgender female athletes in women's sports.
Riley, you don't get anyone to agree on anything like that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This issue has been made out to be a political one, but in reality, it shouldn't be. It should have never become a political issue. It was inevitable that it was going to, of course, but this isn't a political issue. It's a moral issue. It is a humanitarian issue. So to see the way that women's rights to privacy, again, in areas of undressing, to safety, to equal opportunity, to see how that has been politicized in the way that it has, with the Democrats resoundingly being on the wrong side of history here, is almost remarkable. It really is. And to still, you have outlets. We have people like Joy Reid, or even ESPN yesterday, a major sports outlet who certainly understands the difference between men's sports and women's sports. They've got the headline yesterday. It said, President Trump to issue an executive order that prevents people who are biologically assigned male at birth from competing in women's sports. The beauty of this, that we didn't see 2 years ago, is Americans see through that. What an inefficient way to say men. People who were biologically assigned male at birth. That's what I did in college when I was trying to reach the word count of an essay that I needed to submit that night. That is something to that extent. So people see through it. And so to see these numbers, and again, to know just 2-3 years ago, the stand that I had taken, it wasn't popular at the time. You know that. I know that. I'm fortunate that you were at the forefront. You were talking about this, but even members of right-wing media, they weren't honest. They weren't transparent. They were falling in line with the language barriers and traps that the left is using, the pronoun junk to these men as trans women. People are desperate for clear language. My grandma, she doesn't know what a trans woman is. She hears this and she's like, Riley, does that mean man who identifies as a woman, or woman who identifies as a man? So people have had enough. So if the Democrats keep playing on this, they will certainly keep losing.
A good guide for everyone in the audience: every time you hear trans man or trans woman, just replace it with not a. So not a woman or not a man. That's it. Or fake. So fake man, fake woman. That's a great little, I finally got it that way. I was like, okay, got it. So trans is a replacement for fake. Riley, but in the audience yesterday was Speaker Mike Johnson and several senators. If we are serious about this sticking, we need congressional action as well. What is the status of the legislation that would prohibit men from being in female sports, and are Democrats still against this?
Yeah, I love that you asked this because a lot of people see what happened yesterday and they want to wipe their hands and think that we're done. Oh my gosh, we are absolutely not done. This does not absolve the states from doing what they need to do, and it certainly does not prevent this from being overturned as quickly as it was implemented, potentially in 4 years. So where this stands at the federal level, just a few weeks ago, Congress passed H.R. 28, the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act, sponsored by Representative Greg Steube. They're able to say it passed with bipartisan support because 2 Texas Democrats voted in support. The rest of them, over 200 of them, 200 Democrats, mothers and fathers of their own young daughters, voted in opposition of protecting women and girls in sports. But nonetheless, it passed. But the problem that we're having now and where we need the pressure applied, from what I understand, the Senate does not want to take this bill up. They believe that it won't pass, which is a fair, certainly a fair assumption to make. But nonetheless, because of Chuck Schumer and his strategy and lack of leadership, lack of courage in the 118th Congress, they did not hear this on the Senate floor. Therefore, they got out of voting for it. It couldn't really be this big hot button topic for a lot of these senators who were running for re-election just last year because they didn't vote on it. We need Senator Thune to act. We need him to bring this to the House floor to have a vote. So, number one, we know who stands with women and who does not. 2, it has the chance at least to be codified into law, passed on to the president's desk for him to sign. So that's where the pressure campaign lies now, I believe. Really encouraging these senators, let them know we're watching, we're waiting, and we're watching. Do the right thing, bring this to the floor for a vote, and vote for women.
Well said, Riley. Thank you. We're doing a big campus push with you as well. 30 seconds, tell our audience about it.
Man, I can't wait. What you guys have been able to do on college campuses among the youth is pivotal. I know your listeners know that, how that shaped the election, how that shaped what we saw yesterday, those little girls surrounding President Trump. Had you guys not been doing what you do, that visual, that picture would not exist. I think we're going to be on about maybe 30 different college campuses this semester. So very excited for that. Headed to a Turning Point event right now, actually. So just thrilled to be a contributor. What you guys are doing, I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Riley, keep up the great work. We will speak to you soon. Thank you so much.
You've got it, Charlie. Thanks.
Ruffgreens.com. Ever see your dog slowing down or having health issues and wonder, what can I do to make them better? Well, my friend, add Ruff Greens to your dog's food for 90 days and you'll see changes that will amaze you, guaranteed. Invented by naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Ruff Greens wants to invite you to give your pup the Ruff Greens 90-day challenge. In the first 30 days, you'll see shinier coats and increased energy. By day 60, your dog will have a stronger immune system, less shedding, and improved joint function, all due to the live nutrients you added to their diet. And at 90 days, better digestion, reduced inflammation, and improved heart health. And you might even have reduced their cancer risk. Fetch a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. Go to ruffgreens.com. Just use promo code Kirk. That is ruffgreens.com, promo code Kirk. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Ruff Greens. ruffgreens.com/Kirk. We'll be right back.
Are you sitting right now? It could be harming your health. Back pain, stress, and serious health risks can build up from sitting too long. But motion changes everything. Introducing Ready Rocker with its patented Rock Perfect design that supports your spine as it helps improve posture, relieve back pain, boost circulation, and release endorphins for your overall well-being, no matter where you are. Lightweight, portable, and covered in memory foam, Ready Rocker instantly transforms any chair or space into a healthier sitting experience.
Sitting too long isn't just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy. With Ready Rocker, we make sitting a healthier experience for people of all ages.
From soothing babies to helping with posture, back pain, and stress, we discovered that rocking can truly improve lives.
Sitting is the new smoking. A sedentary lifestyle, whether you're sitting at a desk or in a vehicle all day, is not good for the body to just stay in that same position. And that's why the Ready Rocker is so effective. The rocking motion constantly keeps you active and helps you ease pain, reduces stress. It actually releases endorphins in the brain. It's a mood booster.
I used to be in pain all the time, but with Ready Rocker, I felt relief, and I'm in a better mood. I take it everywhere.
I can literally feel the stress being taken off my joints while rocking.
My back stopped hurting, my arthritis felt better. It's just wonderful.
Now you can join the movement that's changing lives and helping thousands find relief. Call now or go online to get 35% off your purchase. We'll even ship it for free. Plus, you'll get this bonus seat cushion.
Ready Rocker is changing lives one rock at a time.
Now it's your turn to experience the relief for yourself.
Call 1-800-592-1572 or go to GetReadyRocker.com. That's 1-800-592-1572 or go to GetReadyRocker.com. Call now.
Better researchers than the CDC. Yeah, may not be saying much. It's the Charlie Kirk Show.
Okay, we need to support organizations that share our values and boycott those that do not. If you're tired of being exposed to disgusting and degrading content, if you want good and high quality produced content, family values, and Hollywood quality, if you want to be inspired and you want content that increases your faith in God, you got to check out Angel Studios. It's the Angel Guild. You got to check it out at angel.com. Be the first to stream amazing films like Sound of Hope, Mike Rose, Something to Stand For, Sight, Cabrini, Tuttle Twins, and more. You can vote on films and decide what gets made. Your membership ensures that films that amplify light get made and they get marketed. Go to angel.com if you want to be inspired and get content that increases your faith in the divine, in Hashem. Be the first to stream amazing films. Nothing will change entertainment more than where consumers invest their dollars. So go to angel.com today. That is angel.com today. So take a look at it right now. Angel.com today. So take a look at it right now. Angel.com. Email us freedom@charliekirk.com. USA Today is the Department of Education on the chopping block tomorrow. Be right back. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Email us, freedom@charliekirk.com. So USAID, 15,000 people put on administrative leave. And then what is next? Well, there's no surprises here with this administration. It's whatever the president ran on the campaign trail. So far, he's just going boom, 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 one at a time. He said no men and female sports. He said no money to CRT or DEI schools. He said we're going to get rid of chemical castration. We're going to unleash the economy and secure the border. He's going piece by piece by piece by piece, element by element. And what's next? The eradication and the abolishment of the Department of Education. Reagan couldn't do it. George W. Bush couldn't do it. George W. Bush wouldn't want to do it. He was all about growing the size and scope of the Department of Education. It's time to end it. It's time to send it back to the states. It is time to say that it never should have been a role of the federal government. Since the Department of Education was started under Jimmy Carter, America's education system has only grown more costly, more bloated, and less effective. Republicans have been promising to get rid of it for decades, but when given power, they did nothing. Washington, D.C. insiders assumed this administration would just pull the same bait and switch. But the Department of Education is next. Senator Kennedy from Louisiana has this to say. Play cut 76.
To my friends who are upset, I would say with respect, call somebody who cares. They better get used to this. It's USAID today. It's going to be Department of Education tomorrow.
Understand that for the better part of our country, we never had a Department of Education. Education was done by the local church, the local school, local parents. We were a smarter, wiser, better prepared, better equipped nation when we did not have this federal bureaucracy of the Department of Education. The U.S. government in 1958 passed the National Defense Education Act, which provided funding for science, math, and foreign language learning. LBJ came along and passed the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESEA of 1965, and then the Higher Education Act of 1965. There was a new office that was created of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. And then Jimmy Carter, another masterclass from him, in 1979, put on the Department of Education Organization Act. The creation of the Department of Education was official on May 4th, 1980. And we have slid ever since. We had No Child Left Behind. We had Barack Obama at Every Student Succeeds Act. And we have seen standards fall dramatically. This is 155 on screen. Inflation adjusts U.S. Department of Education outlays versus student performance. We are spending more than any industrialized country, and we have worse output. Why? Because we have a centralized federal model, when education, of course, is the most personal thing. Think about it. Because it happens in the soul and the mind of every student. It is the most micro thing, is education. You can't centralize that. You can't dictate it from some Politburo. It is the opposite of a national project. It must start with the family and then maybe the community. It is personal. It is a journey that every student must take on their own to read the great books and to discover truth and to understand beauty and define goodness and fight for the good. Here's President Donald Trump on the Department of Education, play cut 154.
And on the Education Department, why nominate Linda McMahon to be the Education Department Secretary if you're going to get rid of the Education Department?
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. I want her to put herself out of a job. Education Department. So we're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right? We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. And we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice.
So there will be billions of dollars being sent back to these communities. And we are not going to subsidize this failed education administrative state model anymore. The system is failing. It's time to break up that bureaucracy. Hundreds of billions of dollars we spend on this. And we have kids in Baltimore that can't read. Send it back to the states. Send it back to the communities. Send it back to the cities. And also, these colleges, your grift is over. These hundreds of billions of dollars you get for these failed systems, this cartel that you've built, we're breaking that up. The cartel is over. The gravy train is ending. And the Department of Education is next to be eliminated. Second hour coming up.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my story. I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta or brittle bone disease. I have broken my bones almost 200 times, and I have had 11 surgeries. But I didn't let that stop me. I love to bike ride, climb, race, and I'm learning how to stand and walk. But I can only do all of this because of generous people like you and Shriners Hospitals for Children.
Because of people like you, Shriners Hospitals for Children has helped more than 1.3 million kids just like me, regardless of their family's ability to pay.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is only able to provide this world-class, life-changing medical care because of the generous gifts of people just like you.
Because of you, I can ride my bike. I can play basketball.
Because of people like you, I can run.
I can smile.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
When you go to loveshriners.org right now and give just 63 cents a day, you're helping kids just like me.
Like me.
Like me.
When you give today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me.
Your gift, no matter how small, can help a child today.
This is your moment to make a difference.
When you pick up your phone, you know you have it right there, and call to give. You're helping kids like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, please call again or give right away at loveshriners.org.
Your gift makes a difference. Thank you for giving.
You asked, and we heard you, America.
Real America's Voice is coming to iHeart Media.
Yes, Real America's Voice is now breaking through the white noise of the mainstream media.
Just download the iHeart app, and you'll have all of us right at your fingertips.
Scan the QR code and start streaming RAV anywhere you want.
Real America's Voice, available whenever you need us.
It's never been easier to stay connected with the voices you trust.
RAV on iHeart means you can take us with you wherever you go.
This is huge. The truth on iHeart. Ready whenever you are. From Charlie Kirk to Steve Bannon, Jack Posobiec to Grant Stinchfield, you'll find all your favorite RAV hosts in one place.
You can listen on Spotify, Apple, Pandora, or Amazon. RAV is now available everywhere you get your podcasts. All you need to do is scan the QR code right now.
Download the iHeart app today and get ready for Real America's Voice.
Scan the QR code and join the RAV movement.
Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. Tax season is underway for filers, but for the IRS, it is collection season. Most people who expect to owe the IRS are likely putting off filing their returns or even filing for an extension. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to outlast the IRS, though. And that's where the folks at Tax Network USA can help. Cameron Kinsey is a spokesperson for the company and joins us this morning to explain. So, Cameron, what are some of the sort of services that you offer?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. It's just important to know that the IRS is just not on your side. It's very important to have an expert in your corner. So that's really where Tax Network comes in, and it kind of acts like a liaison, basically, between you and the IRS, so you don't have to. There's a number of services we offer, but basically our main goal is just to protect you from the government overreach that we've seen in the Biden-Harris administration. Like I've noted previously, we did see the 87,000 IRS agents that were hired under the Biden-Harris regime. Luckily, I do believe that there is a hiring freeze under President Trump right now to alleviate this overreach that we've seen for taxpayers. But we also saw the $80 billion funding boost, which is absolutely unacceptable. They haven't been targeting the top 1% millionaires and billionaires. They've been targeting everyday Americans like our audience today who's watching this show. So it's just really important to have people like us in your corner who know the tax law, know the complexities of your case as well, and can advocate on your behalf.
Are your experts seeing a change in atmosphere or environment now that there's a new administration? When I say atmosphere environment, of course, I'm talking about the IRS. Are you already starting to see any notable changes, or is it business as usual?
No, of course, we've seen notable changes under this administration because they're not pushing for this government overreach. If anything, they're trying to hold all of these federal agencies accountable, which is absolutely incredible. You know, we saw with Elon Musk putting out a statement to X where millions were in support of audit. I mean, this just shows how fed up Americans really are with the agency's lack of accountability. And this goes across the board, not just the IRS, right? The FBI,